What's up, guys? My name's Andrew Hintz. Most of you guys should know who I am. If you don't, well, you do now. Yeah. So, today I want to talk to you guys about discrimination and what's going on in the world, because a lot of people say, there's no such thing as discrimination going on today. It's just a bunch of people with a agenda and all that. It's just, honestly, it's further from the truth, okay? It might not be as noticeable as it has in the past, but it's still relevant, okay? So let's backtrack a little bit. And discrimination's been around ever since recorded history. You go down and you look at biblical times. You had the Egyptians that had Jews as slaves that were building their temples, their pyramids and all that stuff. Just everything. And even into the United States, when it first got founded, it was built on slavery. Believe it or not, George Washington had slaves, and that was our first president. Yeah. Yes, all those things happened, and then Civil War happened, try to get rid of slavery, which thankfully it became illegal to have slaves, so everybody that was slaves was able to be free. But it didn't stop. Granted, somebody wasn't their personal property or whatever you want to call it, but you still had discrimination happening. Right after Civil War ended, they got rid of slavery. There was a little catch in there where everybody was allowed to have their human rights unless they were criminals convicted of a crime. Okay? Now, if they were convicted of a crime, then, they got put in jail, and then they would have to do labor or whatever. Well, at this time, during the Civil War, the United States was still growing. They were still building this country. So, they would find African Americans and charge them with little petty stuff like loitering or whatever, and give them 10, 15 years in prison or hard work or hard labor. Okay? That way, the government still had people to build roads, build railroads, to help grow this nation. So, in reality, this country was built on slavery. Okay? Then you fast forward into time where Martin Luther King was around. Discrimination was still very, very large. You had blacks and whites separated with different schools. You had black-only stores, black-only water fountains, and if you rode the city bus and you were African American, you had to sit in the back of the bus, or you had to give up your seat to a white person because they're supposedly better than you or something like that. It never made sense to me. But anywho, that's how it was. And that really didn't start becoming hey, this is wrong in people's eyes until Martin Luther King. And this guy, he would lead. The guy was just a brilliant guy. He was a doctor and very well educated, and he would lead marches on Washington and peace rallies. They were peace. There was none of this looting and stuff like that you see today when you see riots breaking out and stuff like that. It was nothing like that. He was very much if we want to make an impact, we have to do it the correct way, and that is being peaceful and making a statement, but not hurting anybody or anything. while doing this. Unfortunately, Martin Luther King did get assassinated, which is very unfortunate because there was still so much work that needed to be done, but his message still lived on, and it hasn't died. It's still around. But in today, yeah, we don't make it so, oh, blacks have to go over here, whites have to go over here, you know, what we don't, that doesn't happen. But you're starting to see it in a whole lot of other places. Women in the workforce, they get paid about 80%, or every dollar that a male makes, a female makes 80 cents of that dollar. So and they're doing the exact same work, exact same thing, but they're not being paid for it. That's discrimination. Okay? Then there was something that I saw on the news about Ellen DeGeneres on their show, which Ellen DeGeneres is homosexual, and she is in a relationship or is married to a female, which, cool, good for her, she's happy, that's awesome, you do your thing. But she if you don't know who Ellen DeGeneres is, she also has a daytime talk show, and she was going to have a Christian artist singer perform on her show. Well, a couple days before, this Christian artist was at church, and she was going on about how being gay is wrong. And if you want to look it up, go to YouTube and find Ellen DeGeneres cancels Christian singer, and it should pop up. Did it last night. It was rather interesting. Which, I'm not saying that what this Christian artist was saying was right, but we also have to realize, as a human race, we all have different opinions. Okay? I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, but we need to at least do it respectfully towards everybody. Okay? But I'm also not saying Ellen was correct on canceling this gal because she was voicing her opinion. So I feel like there was discrimination going both ways on this, and it shouldn't have happened. I mean, in all honesty, like, everybody has their own feelings and opinions. That's cool, that's fine, but let's talk about it. Let's be on level ground, level-headedness, and let's just talk about the issues. Okay? Let's find common ground about it. Okay? And here's another example. Say it's about 10 o'clock at night or something like that, and you're in downtown Lincoln or Omaha or something like that, and you're a Caucasian female, mid-20s, walking to your car from work, and you're just trying to get home, and on the same sidewalk that you're walking to your car, there is a African American male walking in your direction. Now, you could either stay on that same path, or you could go to the other side of the street and put some distance there. Well, most of the time, I would say the female would go to the other side of the street and go out of her way so she can avoid this whole interaction, I guess. Now, that's discrimination. You might not think it is, but you're discriminating somebody because you don't know who he is, which I get. You know, I'm not saying that you don't need to think about your own personal safety and everything, but you know, that guy could just be a normal, good guy, but just by the basis of his skin color or whatever, she could think, oh, that's he's gonna hurt me or something like that. So yeah, it's just it's the little things that are going on in this world that we might not think that it is discrimination, but we do it every day without even knowing it. So, and how can we fix this problem? How is there a way? Well, for one, we just need to accept everybody for their differences, for one. For two, if somebody has a different opinion than us, so what? That's what makes the human population incredible. I mean, you and I could been born in the same hospital, live 2 blocks from each other, but have totally different views on life. Okay, so what was the difference there? Well, don't know. There could be, you had basically the same surroundings and all that, but we have different opinions. Okay, that's cool. Let's talk about it. Sometimes we can find even ground. Sometimes we might have a disagreement, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with having a disagreement on stuff. That's just how it is. So I don't think that this problem will ever go away completely, but I feel like we can make it better, like make an improvement on it, just by being open-minded and saying, okay, that person is different and that's okay. That's just one step to it. And you could talk to a bunch of different people and they got a bunch of different ideas, and that, as long as we can try to figure out something to eradicate it, that'd be awesome. Sad part of it is, it might never happen, but it's still something worth trying to fix. And yes, I am in my car. I do a lot of time in my car. I drive a lot of different things going on. That's a side note. But yeah, but like always, guys, much love. Talk to you guys later.